Hey, everybody. Um, Today we're going to be learning about a concept called interest. And specifically, today we're going to be looking at there's two types of interest. There's one called compound interest, and there's one also called interest. And so the main idea of interest on this first slide here, it says no interest, and it says, "Can I borrow $100?" And so now I'm going to let you borrow $100, and then a year later, the only thing that you're going to have to pay me back would be only $100. So over time, people started saying, you know what? I'm going to let people borrow money, especially kind of like the bank. The bank lets you borrow money, and instead of you just having to pay $100 back a year later, they started charging interest. And so let's look at this next slide. It says, "Can I borrow $100?" And so right now, our interest, our principal, which is the amount of money, and so there's a dollar sign here that means the principal. Our principal would be $100, okay? And the rate would be 5%. So I'm gonna put 5 right here. And then we're gonna borrow it for 1 year. We're gonna borrow money for 1 year, so I put a 1 right here, okay? And so I have there's when you're dealing with interest, you need to know that the principal, which is your money, and you need to know your rate, which is your percentage, and your time is in years, okay? And so, for instance, right here, um, this is why I put this box underneath here, because our percentages need to be converted to decimals. And so in my calculator, I take the 5% that they gave me and I divide it by 100, and it moves the decimal for me. And so we end up having, and so we'll type it right here, 0.05%, okay? And so the formula says interest is equal to principal times rate times time. And so all I have to do is I'm going to use my principal, which is $100, times my rate, which is this decimal, and times my years. And it'll give me how much I have to pay extra, which is called my interest, okay? And so I'm going to put $100 in my calculator times 0.05 times 1 year. And so it looks like how much is the interest? Well, the interest that I'm going to have to pay you back, or the bank, whoever I borrow the money from, is going to be $5. And I just put $5, and I could put right there $5. How much is the total value? So, well, originally I had to pay the $100 because I borrowed the $100, and I'm going to go ahead and add my interest, which was my $5. And so the value of this loan right now is, at the end of a year, is going to be $105. And I could put a dollar sign in front of it if I wanted to. Okay. And so this is how interest works. You simply find the money, which is your principal. You find your rate and you convert your rate. Don't forget to convert it. That's why this box is down here. And then your years. And you multiply the three numbers, and it should give you how much extra you're going to have to pay. And so when we think about interest, it's the extra amount I have to pay back. And there are loans that have 0% interest, which would no interest. So I would only have to pay $100 back at the end of the year. That's why people get excited when they hear on the commercials 0% interest, because they don't have to pay anything back for that year. And so we go on to the next slide. This time, I want to borrow $100 again. My rate looks like it's still 5%. And so we divide it by 100. 5 divided by 100. Once again, it gives us 0.05. And our years would be 5 years this time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 100 times 0.05 times 5 years, which would give me $25. And so my interest here would be $25. And then the total value would be $125. Okay.